The Frisco.
Don't touch my iPhone, Jamie. Myself, you trying. I need.
Okay, everybody, we are back in the building. We had to go live today. Please let me know if you can hear me. I'm using my ghetto headphone set, but if it works, it works. I'm using my ghetto. Oh yeah, it's sounding real good. Okay, so if it works, it works. I mean, sometimes simple is better. The I feel like this is George Floyd all over again in a sense. Only difference is this guy, Carmelo Anthony, I find it, I'm not even gonna give my opinion on it right at this moment because I really want to know what you all think. But basically you have white America and black America at odds over the murder of this kid in Texas, Dallas Fort Worth area at the hands of Carmelo Anthony, and that's Carmelo with a K. So what happened, as far as we know, um, the boy, the black guy, Carmelo Anthony, was at a track meet. He was in the opposing team's area of the, you know how the opposing team has like their tent and everything like that. And I was on the track team. I threw shot put. Um, and I've never known anyone to go inside of another team's tent. Never in all my years of doing sports, never in my time on the track team of Cabrillo High School as a shot putter, never, ever, ever have I seen a situation where someone else from a, from the opposing team would be in the tent area of or stand area of your team. Now, if you guys know about this, you're in the bleachers, you set up your little tent thing because it gets hot out there, and your team sits under that, right? So Carmelo, for some reason, is under the tent of the opposing team, right? And he, from what I gather in my research, he was saying that he was basically saying like derogatory things about the other team as the track meet was going on. So the kid, the white kid, Austin Metcalf, tells him, well, there's a bunch of kids apparently telling him, hey, you need to get out of here. You need to go to your side. You're on the wrong side. You're under the wrong team's tent. You need to go to the wrong. You need to go to your side. So Carmelo tells them, hey, I don't got to do, nothing. Y'all can't make me leave. So the kid, Austin Metcalf, like confronts Carmelo. He's like, hey, man, you got to get out of here. Carmelo Anthony sticks his hand in his backpack and says, touch me and see what happens. At that point, it's premeditated. You've already thought in your mind, if this guy does this to me, I'm going to do this. So apparently, Austin Metcalf pushed Carmelo Anthony, like pushing him, like, "Hey man, you gotta go," like kicking him out of their area. Carmelo Anthony pulls out a knife, stabs at Austin Metcalf in the heart. The boy dies in his brother's arms. Right? There's a couple of things that are in this story that I want everybody to pay attention to, especially the African American people who are defending this guy, Carmelo Anthony. What I need you to understand is that we are so far gone with this as a people. We have literally started a GoFundMe for Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony is the guy who killed the white kid, Austin Metcalf. This is how far we are with this. We've started a GoFundMe for the boy who killed the other boy. I'm not saying you got to say the kid's guilty. I'm not saying you got to say the kid is innocent, but doggone it, man. In a case like this, why on earth would you start a GoFundMe for someone who did what he did, right? And I like to think if that was your kid and someone did that to your kid, how would you feel about a bunch of people starting to go fund me for someone who killed your kid? That's crazy to me. So black people started to go fund me for Carmelo Anthony's fight for justice. The GoFundMe got shut down because it got so much news coverage because people couldn't believe it. But when it got shut down, it had raised over $60,000. Now they have this Give, Send, and Go. This is another crowdfunding site. And this Give, Send, and Go has raised over $125,000. It's at 126,000 now, and over 3,510 African American people have given money for this kid who stabbed the other kid in the chest. Absolutely crazy to me, but it is what it is. So Karmelo, the boy tells Karmelo, hey, you got to go. He starts to push Karmelo out, not like, from what I gather, not like pushing him aggressive, like I'm going to beat you up. Like, hey, man, you got to leave. And Karmelo pulls out the knife and stabs the dude in the heart, and the boy dies in his brother's arms. Now, here's the way I look at this, and you might not agree with me, but this is just the way I look at it. First of all, boy, why are you bringing a knife to attract me? That's my question. Why are you bringing a knife to attract me? It's just like someone who brings a gun to attract me. You're bringing a gun or a knife because you, in my opinion, knowing our people the way I do, you're planning on getting into something. And if you do get into something, you want to use that knife on someone. I used to have a friend who carried a gun everywhere we went. Whenever something would happen, I would try to de-escalate it because I knew this guy was going to pull that gun out and start shooting. That's the only reason that anyway, sorry guys, but you're bringing a knife for a reason. You're not bringing the knife because, hey, after I leave here, I'm going to go fillet some fish or something. You're bringing a knife because if you get in a confrontation, you're ready to use that knife on somebody. Okay. Secondly, when you go to a sporting event, people understand that team spirit is high. The energy is very high when you are at any sporting event. That is why there are fights at sporting events, because it is a competitive atmosphere. It's us versus them, right? So people understand this is why they separate fans at sports games. Look at the situation in Europe with the soccer teams. The competitive spirit is so high that they know it is very easy for fights to break out because everyone there is in the spirit of competition. They want their team to win. You want your team to win. If you don't win and someone says the wrong thing, there could be a chance that some type of violence breaks out. So if you go sit in the middle of the other opposing team's bench or their stands and you're saying things negative about their team, that tells me that you were looking for trouble. You went out looking for trouble and you found it, right? Not only that, you brought a knife along with you. I mean, that's two things right there. So first you brought a knife, right? And this is an open and shut case. First, you brought a knife to a high school track meet. You are a high school student, right? Second, you sit in the middle of the bleachers of the opposing team and you're speaking disparagingly of the team while you're sitting there. brother, young man, you were looking for trouble. Okay? Let's do the third thing. The third thing is when they asked you to leave, you said, make me. I'm not leaving. You put your hands on me and you're gonna see what happens. You're asking for a confrontation. They made a request. You know you're not supposed to be there, but instead of getting up and moving, right? You chose to be confrontational. And you immediately went to sticking your hand in the backpack, saying, touch me and see what's gonna happen. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The Carfax show, you literally, you premeditated. You thought you planned that situation. Because there ain't no way if I'm there for self-defense, I'm going on the other side of the team. Because what if they would have just packed you out? It don't matter. Like, I'm from Cali, right? People get shot at football games and stuff all the time, what they used to. And bro would have got packed out. It wouldn't have been no holding my brother in his hand in my arms while he's passing away like Austin's brother did. Everybody in them stands would have been on your ass, and you probably wouldn't have made it out of there alive, right? That's the way it is. But they still didn't jump on you. So you're telling me you were so scared of these people and it was self-defense, but when you stabbed their family, they didn't even jump on you. They didn't even beat you up. They didn't aggress against you in any way. And trust me, hundreds of people are not afraid of a knife. So that tells me that the energy on that side of the competition was not energy that was like violent. That Costa, you said they could have been scared too. Costa, when you go to a track meet in Texas, bro, it's thousands of people there. That 1,000 people ain't scared of no knife, especially when you didn't stab somebody in the chest. They're totally surrounding you, bro. You can't stab everybody at once. No, their energy was not violent energy. They weren't there to do violence. They were there to watch a track meet. The only person who was there to do violence was the person who premeditated violence before they got to that track meet. So basically, he stabs a kid dies in his brother's arm, cops come, get Carmelo Anthony, drag him up out of there, right? Here's the next thing. All the information comes out about Carmelo Anthony and about Austin Metcalf, the boy who died. Austin Metcalf was a 4.0 student. He was MVP of his football team. From what the reports say, everybody at the school loved him, looked up to him. He had a twin brother. You know, he lived with his father, and you saw the father on there talking and crying and stuff. And I'm sorry, children are raised by their parents. And that dad does not seem like the type of guy who's raising bullies. That guy's not even like mad that the guy killed his son. He's hurt, but he said in the interview, I've already forgiven him for what he did to my son. So I see that they're being raised by a forgiving father. They're excelling in their studies. They're doing well in sports. And the guy's getting voted MVP. The kid was good. He was an All-American kid, right? Now, they looked at Carmelo Anthony's they looked at his social media. When you look at bro's social media, bro on the social media with an AK, guns, weed, flipping you off with guns in his hand. Bro was living that thug life. And the people raising the GoFundMe was like, he played football too. He this and that. Bro, you know how many dudes are gang members who play football? Especially in black communities? Please stop. Please stop. And I'm not trying to demonize this kid. He's innocent until proven guilty. But everything you see about that kid, it can only point to one, it can only lead to one conclusion. I'm sorry. Why, okay, if Metcalf was a bully and all, where's Metcalf with the guns and all? Metcalf's daddy was actually a hunter, right? So where was his stuff? Where he got a gun and he flipping off the camera and smoking weed and all that stuff. My belief is that this guy, Carmelo Anthony, was high on drugs, as many young black boys are these days. And he went there with a knife because, as do many people who are high on drugs, as many people who are high on drugs do, he planned some dumb stuff while being under the influence. That's what I honestly think happened. There's a huge problem with teen drug use in America, especially among African Americans. And this guy went up there and stabbed somebody. This is what's on Austin Metcalf's profile. This is the last post made by Carmelo Anthony before he stabbed Austin Metcalf to death. Like, I want to help you guys understand. What you're seeing on the right is the last post made by Carmelo Anthony before he stabbed Austin Metcalf. You guys are telling me my audio is terrible. Let me see what I can do. Oh yeah, it sounded real good. But anyway, and trust me, hundreds of people are not afraid of a knife. So that tells me that the energy on that. Bro, you're tripping, B-Rex. The audio is great. Restart your phone. I just listened to it. It sounds great. Y'all be like, something is bad, but don't even think, could it be me? Audio is great. Audio's best has been in a long time. Okay, so Austin Metcalf, this is the last post of Carmelo Anthony. And what I'm telling you about and what you said about speculation, that's not true because I'm getting this from news sources. This comes from the news right here. This is the Times Now World. This was Carmelo Anthony's last Instagram post before stabbing Austin Metcalf. That's not something I'm speculating. That's information. And every news outlet is showing these same things. Unlimited L's, I don't know who that is, but on Twitter he says Carmelo Anthony posted the photo on the right just hours before he stabbed Austin Metcalf to death. The other photo was shared 6 weeks ago. Come on, guys. I'm sorry. This to me seems like an open and shut case. I don't think there's a jury in America that's going to say that this kid is innocent. This kid is not innocent. This guy premeditated murder. He premeditated murder and went to that. I mean, if you ask me, bro literally planned to go there and kill somebody. And this opens a whole nother conversation about the gun argument and all that. Because these kids, when they get in their mind to go kill, they're gonna do it. But man, if you told somebody go do something and make sure you're gonna be found guilty, this guy, Carmelo Anthony, did everything he possibly could to get found guilty. But what's even more troubling, as I open it up for group discussion, what's even more troubling is the African American people. At this point, to me, this is worse than George Floyd. Like George Floyd, there was some wiggle room to argue. Oh, he was innocent. The cop put his knee on his neck. Bro, why are black people defending this mess? Why are African American people defending this thug? And all we're doing is showing other groups in America that we are a bunch of wild savages who praise and celebrate violence. The same energy black people are exhibiting in this situation is the same energy that black people exhibit when these rappers and stuff that we claim to love get gunned down. Oh man, rest in peace, King Von, but this boy was a mass murderer. Rest in peace to Pookie, but bro got 10 and 15 bodies. 10 and 15 bodies. This boy Brick Baby on No Jumper. He's screaming, I got more bodies than you got fades. I got more skulls than you got fades. You know what that means. And people talk about free Brick Baby. What? We love violence. We love murder. And we love the people who commit that violence and commit these murders. We need them in our community. We like, look, man, we need them on the streets so they can keep killing and we can keep on playing the victim. Why would you even want someone like Carmelo Anthony out on the street? That's my question to you. That's my question. Why would you even want someone like Carmelo Anthony going to school with your kid? I don't want that boy at the school with my daughter. That Negro is crazy. I don't know what he's into. I don't know what he's up to. But what I know is he's willing to kill. He's willing to plot, make a plot to kill someone, and go out and execute that plan. And that's what he did at that track meet that day. And the white kid, I mean, one can say, well, they shouldn't have put their hands on him. Listen, man, it's a sporting event. There's certain do's and don'ts of sporting events. And one of those things, one of the do's, one of the don'ts of the sporting event, don't go to the other team's side and start antagonizing them. Don't go to the other team's side and start talking bad about their kids and stuff. Because when you're doing that, you're talking about people's kids, people, family members. And yeah, they're going to feel some type of way. And you have a side to go on where you can go cheer your team on. You're there to cheer, not disparage the other team. That's the point. Bro planned on doing this. For whatever reason, he planned on doing it. He went there with an idea in his head and he acted on it. Go ahead, Costa. We'll start with you. Guilty or innocent, Costa, then why?
Man, this tough, bro. I've been I've been thinking about it all day. I gave it a lot of thought, and I've heard so much information, and y'all just dropped some new information on me just now. I didn't know that he was not going to the same school as that kid. I was under the assumption that they were at the same school, and they at the same little track meet or whatnot, and he was being bullied. That's how the story was being told. Now, for I just can't say if he's guilty or not. Was it premeditated? It could have been.
It had to be.
It could
It
have been.
had
But
to be.
my thing
Because
is, why?
you brought
Why?
you
What's
brought a
the
knife.
motive?
Listen, you brought a knife to the school and went basically in hostile territory. And when everybody told you to move, and the boy told you, hey, you gotta go, you immediately reached in your bag and said, touch me and watch what happens. That's premeditated, bro. That's different if bro jumped on you and y'all fighting, you pulled your knife out and stabbed, bro. No, he jumped on me. He
So
attacked
if
me.
something's premeditated, don't you got to kind of prove a motive? Like, what's the motive
No,
of
you
him
don't.
doing it?
That's the thing. That's what I'm telling you. There could be a motive, but then when you got these boys out here on drugs and all types of mess like that, they'll do some stuff just because something's going on in their mind. Bro, you could do drugs and voices be in your head telling you, oh, go kill somebody, or they after you. This is 100% premeditated murder. You planned it out. That's all premeditated murder means is you plan to do something. And we know you planned it because you ain't supposed to have no knife at school.
Yeah, he's not supposed to have an. I thought that was the puzzling thing, and
If
I
you
don't
bring
know.
a gun to school, listen,
Something like, yeah. Here's
Kasha,
the
if
thing.
you
He took a picture with a gun, right?
a
So my thing
AK,
is, if he is really the violent person that we say he is, why he didn't bring the gun? Why he bring a knife?
because it probably was harder to get the knife in.
Oh
Because
yeah,
the gun he took a picture with was an
yeah.
AK-47.
That's a big ass chopper.
You ain't walking in no school with
Yeah,
that.
you ain't gonna walk.
Bro's a
No,
sneaky,
you ain't
bro's
walking
a
in.
sneaky
I'm talking
dude.
about a little handgun or something. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
Like,
bro is a creep. Bro is a deviant. Oh, and so they went to different schools because it says family of Texas teenager accused of killing track rival. So these two teams have a history with track, right?
oh shit.
Right. And that's on peoplemagazine.com. So this was their rival. But what I'm telling you is, why didn't Austin Metcalf bring a knife to school? Why all the kids ain't got knives? If it's just he just planned on bringing a knife that day, that's bull crap.
Yeah.
That's shit people say when they don't want to take accountability for something.
But I want to play devil's advocate here. They're
Well,
saying that he
we
was
got a devil's
bullied.
advocate at the bottom. He coming up.
They saying he was bullied. He was bullied. So, he had to take the knife with him. Like, bro, you can, if you bully, you can walk away. Like, you ain't got to sit there. Like, you ain't got to sit there and take a bullying. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for him to stab him in the chest, in the heart of all places. Like if you just trying to get a motherfucker off you, can stab him in the arm, hand, and get back. Slice
Look,
him or some shit.
look.
Like,
I got a bunch of 50-year-old, well, 60-year-old and 70-year-old kids up here. Hey, Ezra, do you take pictures on social media with guns in your pictures? Even play guns? No. He's right here. Bro is 17. Would you bring a gun knife to school? Why not? Okay. So he said the schools be doing checks for knives and guns with dogs and stuff. So, dude, you're not no innocent dude. You're bringing weapons to school to do something. Bro, bro, you're Michael Myers, my nigga. You walked up to the dude with a butcher knife in your backpack. You took a butcher knife to school and stabbed somebody with it, basically. Where's your innocence in that? I don't see how there's even any argument on that. Like, bro didn't come at you with a team of 10 dudes. If
and
it's one on one, bro, gotta get these hands.
he trying to look like a demon in the photo too. You know,
Bro, you
come
are a
on,
black
man.
dude in Texas. A white boy come up to you, giving bro the hands. Now, if it's 10 of them, okay. 5 of them, okay. Bro never planned on using his hands. He's a scary ass nigga who wanted to kill somebody, and when he had his chance, he struck. Uh, I'm gonna come back to you. Go ahead, Gito.
Yeah, man. I think he guilty, bruh, because the circle, not because of all the little social media BS, not because of the guns, because the guns don't have shit to do with it. He's guilty because of what happened. Just like you said, it's like this. He brought a knife to a potential fight. Like it could have been either resolved by you walking away, or somebody would have just got their ass whooped and it would have been over. You know what I'm saying? Like it's stupid. Like I just don't understand why grown ass men sitting up here supporting this shit. Like, I mean, think about, movies we used to watch like Friday and shit. Remember, when that dude daddy was telling us like, hey man, you don't gotta use no guns, fight him like a man, fight him like a man. That's what his ass should have did. If it really had to resort to that, to violence. You know what I'm saying? Back in the game, you get looked down on for shit like that. Bringing weapons to a hand on hand combat.
But your
You
parent,
know, this.
but the first thing your
Go ahead.
parents teach you is don't go looking for no trouble. He went
Yeah,
looking for trouble. Hey, did you play sports, Gito?
yeah,
Anybody who plays sports will tell you Do not take your ass to the opposing team bleachers. Period. And if you do gotta sit on there, say if it's crowded, don't be over there talking shit about people, kids and stuff. You know what you're doing when you do that. You're instigating a fight. And then you instigated the situation, then you stab somebody. Go ahead, bro. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You good? Yeah, man. I mean, I don't even understand. I don't understand why any of the sides, bringing up all these pictures. I mean, I could kind of understand, but then again, I don't get it because it really don't have shit to do with nothing. Nobody had guns at the schoolhouse. You know what I'm saying? The guy got killed by being stabbed. You know what I'm saying? So that shit is irrelevant. What happened is the nigga stabbed him, bro. And that was a bitch move. It is what it is, bro. It's a bitch move, bro. And now another young Negro gotta take a L. He gonna take a L, bro.
And
It is what it is. So this shit don't make sense.
y'all both football players. It's not like you a little ass dude. He big, you big. If you feel that strongly about it, throw hands, whoop on bro, or bro whoop on you. You're a coward. You instigated a fight. You know that dude didn't have no knife, and you stabbed him in the heart. Like, bro, come on.
That's a bitch move. Back in the game, we was coming up. Nobody will respect him. But now this boy got like down there $200,000. On this GoFundMe shit. I heard it got shut down, but I don't know.
That's true.
GoFundMe got shut down, but they started another crowdfunding thing, and that's already at 120.
Can we admit this though, Brandon? With the GoFundMe, I don't have much to say about it because I've seen instances where like black folks that didn't deserve to die at the hand of police, and all these white folks come out and show their disdain by supporting said officer in that
Well, they had
situation.
a GoFundMe for Dylan Roof too.
Yeah. So the GoFunding doesn't bother me. It's the lack of accountability because look, I'm a twin. We've been in countless situations where we had to throw hands. I don't want to see, I smoke hip hop as my brother. I didn't want to see him get touched, but he had to hold his own. I had to hold my own. It seems like the white boys let that happen. But let's just entertain the hypotheticals from everything we're hearing. They probably called him a nigga. This is not true, but the hypotheticals. They probably called him a nigga, say, get the fuck from around here. Homeboy, all he had to do was leave. We got a problem with conflict resolution strategies with our young men. I can't come on here on your platform, Brandon, knowing that I work with youth all day, every day, every day. And this is the plight our young men are going through. I don't know how many folks did tours in prison systems that is filled with young black men from stupid scenarios. So why y'all hyping him up about he stood on business? He was attacked by a mob, which wasn't true, by the way. And all he had to do was walk away. Instead, he carries the same knife he was suspended for, or maybe a different knife, but for the same, this is a pattern. He's carrying a knife.
Yeah, this kid definitely has some real issues.
Wait, real quick, Gravitating. You're saying he was suspended for having a knife another day?
Ain't nobody bringing knives to track meets. Now,
that boy's
maybe at a football stadium, but not at a fucking track meet.
A track meet is the most peaceful. Bro literally killed bro. And I'm telling you, I don't even think it was a racial thing. Bro, when you're at a sporting event in the spirit of competition, you will get hands and feet put on you when you start disrespecting. You know what you're doing. You're walking in knowing what type of a situation you're creating, and you're planning to take it to a level that no one there was planning to take it to. Go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, no, it's complete disproportionate. I agree with the brother, before me that working with some young men, they have some real serious issues with being told what to do, in any way, shape, or form, and they react to adults. To me, I had something like this happen couple weeks ago in my school. A student just completely loses his mind and wants to react to anything, and they live like on this "I wish somebody would" type mentality. And so that's what this guy did. He came there with a knife, and he pretty much came in there like a ticking time bomb, thinking that the next person who says this to me, says something wrong to me, I'm gonna reach into this bag, I'm gonna pull up this knife, and he said, "Touch me and see what happens." I hear that all the time at the school. It is part of these kids' mentality. This kid should get somebody to tell him he needs to plea bargain his way out
Facts.
of this.
Facts. That self
If he
defense ain't gonna work.
Yeah, the self defense is not going to work. He's going to get destroyed in trial.
They said he
Um,
was asking the responding officers when they were taking him to the precinct, "Oh, do you think this could be passed off as self defense?" Like, so yeah, you could argue that he had some premeditated thought of killing this dude and saying, "Hey, it's self defense. I get off scot."
yeah,
It's weird.
but the kid is weird. He fills his head with foolishness and violence, which is what his social media shows, and as a result, his default reaction is something that's completely disproportionate. Which is this? Black people, we can't. We used to have an idea, understand that we couldn't defend everybody, and in our community, even people who deserve some defending, we wouldn't defend because it just wouldn't look good for us to defend. Nowadays, we defend everybody.
Hey, Brandon.
It doesn't matter what it is they do. We our default now is to defend them, make excuses for them. It is possible to have empathy and feel bad for the kid on one level, but understand that he has to face consequences for what he did. He took somebody's life unnecessarily.
Alpha Omega says something good. A lot of people was making this racial when the father himself said he spoke to the surviving twin and said it had nothing to do with race. So I agree with the last caller. It's about respect, ego, all of that. A pattern of our young black males, again, not knowing how to walk away from certain situations. You got a older cat in the comment section, and this is no disrespect because I'm used to it. You can speak truth to power, right? Or vice versa. And then you get a brother like the professional says, we're slick talking out our mouths. A lot of people carry weapons. Brother, as an older dude once told me, if you got to bring a weapon in a peaceful event like a track meet, you don't need to be there, bro. You don't.
Right.
Yeah, I
You
Hey,
live by
Brandon.
that concept. If I gotta take my gun with me anywhere, I'm not going.
right,
If I feel like I
exactly.
gotta take it with me, I'm not going.
Okay, go ahead, Ben Yosef.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it fast. I want to piggyback. I'm gonna make this a couple of quick points. I'm gonna
Ben
piggyback with
Yosef climbed from under his rock.
what the brother was saying about the GoFundMe. A lot of those GoFundMe's are fake. Like even somebody could pass away, and people will start throwing up GoFundMe's, and they have nothing to do with the family members. And then two, the brother's right about. I remember the Asian brother, the Asian cop who killed the brother in New York, and all the Asians got together and supported that cop to get off. And like I said, with whites,
Amadou Diallo.
yeah,
No,
exactly. And
that
white
No, that
wasn't
was a
people,
Kai.
Diallo.
That was a Kai Gurley.
yeah, Kai
Oh,
Gurley,
okay,
and
Akai Gurley. I'm sorry.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
and a lot of white support when we know this out of unrighteousness, like Zimmerman and what's the other young bastard that was in Wisconsin. They support them, and not only do individually do they get support from corporate America. They had what was that Rittenhouse? They had him on Fox News and every damn thing. You know what I'm saying?
No, they
So
attacked Rittenhouse though. He
okay,
was being
brother,
attacked.
I'm talking, brother. Let me finish. Y'all been talking all day, man. I'm not long here. I'm not long winded. All right. So what I'm saying is that this brother's in Texas. I don't know. I wasn't there, so I'll do what the white people do when something like this happened. I didn't see the whole thing. You don't know if it was a mob activity or it was in self defense or there was a disproportionate of force because we know how violent football games and sporting events can get. Maybe he felt his life was in danger And of course, the brother is going to say it's not racial, or the twin brother, because who the fuck is going to admit that? So we wasn't there to know what the aggression was. And we know how football games, or even sporting events, even kids' soccer games can get violent.
Okay, Ben. Ben, I follow your point, and I want to ask you a question.
And hold on, I'm finishing real
Wait,
quick.
wait, wait,
And
wait.
we
Let me.
also in Texas, right? Everybody carry a goddamn gun in Texas.
Okay. So listen. We all do know how violent sporting events can get. We know what the risk that comes with going to a sporting event. So why would you go into the bleacher section of your rival team?
Okay, you can say that, Brandon, but how come they didn't call the police? Why didn't they call the proper authorities?
You're under their tent and you're speaking disparagingly of their players.
But that doesn't give them the authority to put hands on him. No,
I'm
you
not
go
saying that
call the
Ben,
police, right?
you're
Like they
moving the
tell us to do.
goalposts, Ben. You're moving the goalposts. You said sporting events are dangerous. Bro could have been scared, not knowing what might happen. That's fine. But what scared person who is erring on the side of caution and carrying a knife because they want to be able to protect themselves goes into the heart of the bleachers of the rival team, sits under their tent? That's one thing that's crazy. Gets under their tent, then starts talking disparagingly about their
Okay,
player.
have you been to a pro
Correct.
football game,
You're not
Brandon?
scared.
Hold on,
What
he
I'm
asked me a
telling you,
question.
go ahead.
Have you been to the pro football games? There's some
Yes,
people who like antagonizing the opposition's
but
fans.
you don't go sit in their section.
Brandon, that's beyond the point. Because if it was
No, that's.
reversed, they would have said he has the right to sit there if he wanted
But
to.
what I'm
And that
telling you
doesn't give
is,
them the right to remove him. They are not the police.
I'm not saying that they have the right to remove him. What I'm doing is I'm destroying your argument about him being scared by pointing out the fact that bro took a knife into the heart of their section of the bleachers. You're not scared if you're doing that, bro. There's no way you could tell me that somebody is terrified and then they go sit right among their rival team
Maybe he
and
didn't
start
think it was
talking
going to
back.
jump that bad, Brandon. Maybe he thought he can antagonize the
Bro,
other side for
but
fun.
how bad did it jump? Nobody touched him. He the one who stabbed somebody.
You said they pushed him, right? They got to
bro,
put his hands
Even
on
when
him.
he
bro,
got listen, and even when
bro.
the boy got stabbed, they didn't jump on him and beat him to death. They called the cops.
Okay,
Yeah, if he
then
got
they
jumped,
got
they
pushed.
would
You
have
said they
said it,
got
bro. They
pushed him,
had
right?
witnesses.
And the
He might
witnesses
have
were
put his
white,
hands on
and the
him.
witnesses were on the other side, right? Of course, they're
No,
going to
I
clap
Bro,
believe
it
that
was
what
race,
push.
more. You don't know the race of those witnesses. It was multiple
but they were
schools
on
there,
the
bro.
other
Stop.
side
When the
team,
witness they
right?
say it won't stick.
So whose side would they be on?
What I'm
If that
telling you,
you can take the race part out of it. If they're on the opposing side, they're gonna stand up for their boy.
Bro, it
Ben,
was multiple
you
schools
moving,
there.
you moving the goalpost, Ben.
I do like they do us. I haven't seen enough. You wasn't there. I need more information. He was threatened. He feared
Yeah,
for his life. You see what I'm saying? That's what
witnesses
they
were
do to
there.
us all the goddamn time. We look at them the wrong
Who
way, they
who
can shoot
Here's
us.
the thing.
who
That
who the
kind of
court gonna
thinking
subpoena?
is
Who the court of law gonna subpoena? They gonna
that
What
subpoena
they're
the
kind of
doing.
witnesses, the
that
people that
kind of
seen it.
thinking is counterproductive for us right now. Like
Yeah,
we don't
yeah.
have we're not in a position to be having a proxy war like that with white folks, bro.
Dude,
Like
fuck white
since
people. What they gonna do? They ain't
Hey,
gonna do
bro,
Ben,
nothing.
you
Ben,
live in
Ben,
Canada,
Ben.
Ben. Like ain't
Okay,
nobody
what they
trying to
gonna do?
hear
That's
that,
right.
bro.
They got
Like
stabbed. The white boy
okay,
dead.
like
The
But my
brother's still
point,
living. So now what?
but
Fuck
he's
them. What they gonna do about it? They
Might
hey
couldn't
not
Ben,
handle
live in the pen.
all them crackers
Is
couldn't
it
handle
really
one
living,
brother.
Ben? Ben,
You
that's
took
what you
their
want
ass
our
down.
young brothers to go through, Mr. Canada. You know what goes on
Stupid
with
shit.
young motherfuckers down
He
here?
was the
That shit
typical
ain't you.
square jaw cracker from Texas. So
well,
he
what
That's
I
was
all.
probably on
That's
some
all
racist
fine and
shit.
dandy, but let's exclude the what happened with the white boy. You think the young black man who, by the way, he was an honor student himself. He was a D1 recruit himself. His life is gone. You think that's
threw his life
living
away.
in the belly of the beast? That's what you niggas think is
Hey, the
living?
brother felt his life was in danger. He in Texas, goddammit. He in the
Man,
belly of the
shut the
beast, so
fuck
he had
up,
to
bro.
handle
I'm
business.
sorry,
Hey guys,
Brandon. I'm sorry,
language.
Brandon. These
Hey,
niggas
listen,
piss me off,
but
bro.
this is what I, this is
This
what,
that kind of thinking is just so counterproductive.
Man, what you worried about it for? About some cracker getting off? What you
It,
why
it's
you all in your feelings about it? They ain't
Bro,
worried
I'm
about
not
them
talking
nobody in
being
their
about
called
that.
no
feelings. We just
goddamn
talking
reason.
about the
We're talking about the
ramifications of
issue and
what
trying
this
to make
can
and trying to
bring,
talk like
bro.
civilized people,
Guys,
bro.
one at a time. One at a time.
We're trying to talk about this like civilized people. You came in here with this whole attitude that is make it racializing it when this doesn't even have to be racialized. It's just a common sense thing where we don't want our young men to go out there and ruin their lives based on foolishness. And we're discussing it in a way so we can so we could talk about ways in which our young men can avoid this type
Brother,
of
you
thing.
don't know all the
This
story.
is killing a white guy at a track meet is not the revolution.
I
It's
didn't say
not.
it was. He might have been in fear for his life. You don't know all the facts.
Like that's a symbolic win.
Then here the whole thing I'm telling you, the part that worries me the most is that I know that Carmelo Anthony didn't kill bro because he was white. Carmelo Anthony was ready to kill anyone who confronted him. And that's what worries me. These guys are ticking time bombs that more likely than not are going to kill another black person as opposed to killing a white person.
Well, at least he didn't shoot up the school, Brandon. At least
Yeah,
he
at
didn't
least
do
he didn't.
that.
Thank goodness he didn't do that. But bro is, man, I'm telling you, when somebody do something like what Carmelo Anthony did, it makes it hard for all other black men.
Oh,
You
come on,
know,
Brandon. Don't give me that. They
No,
always
it
gonna lay down
does.
the
It
rough.
does because there's a lot of black people about to die behind this shit. Innocent
Hey,
black
man,
people.
brother, man, get out of
Just
here with
because
that
they look
shit.
like
That
this
scared
nigga.
coon talk. You talking coon
No,
talk, brother.
they do no. This happens all the time. Look what happened after Nat Turner killed them
Then
people.
bring it
They
then.
went and
Tell him
killed
to
all
bring
them
it then.
innocent
Tell
black
him to
people.
bring it. Tell him
Uh,
to bring it.
you live in Canada, bro.
I
Like,
don't
what you
care. Bring it,
talking about?
goddammit. If they that goddamn tough, bring it.
Like, you talking on the other side of the border. You doing all that woofing in Canada
All this scared nigga
with
talk,
all that
man.
damn maple syrup.
I like
Uh,
I like I like Dolomite's comment. Niggas like this make this whole situation worse. I'm going there. The white people were willing to take the L and charge it to the game, but the community response made this shit worse than it was, and that's
facts.
true. The white people weren't going at black people about this. The daddy was like, "This is unfortunate." He gave the perfect response to the situation, and black people had to take it to the we ain't even do nothing level.
Yep,
Like,
yep.
like no, he's guilty as hell, but
I
he
couldn't
didn't
agree
even
more.
do nothing. Let me make an excuse for why he should have did it. There's no excuse to go to a track meet and stab somebody in the heart. There's no excuse for that.
Brandon,
Yeah,
can we agree? Even if you're the most extremist pro-black, person out there, and you salute a Caucasian losing their life, let's just say that's the case. But shouldn't your worry and empathy be towards the black young man who probably has no more life left?
yes.
Like,
One hundred
I don't
percent.
hear that from these so-called pro-black guys.
You don't. You don't.
He
And,
just
No,
destroyed his life. Forget the white boy that died. You got a whole family that might go through a cycle because of this.
yep.
do you guys remember that video that was going crazy a while back? It was a video of an older dude basically telling a younger dude go ahead and crash out. They was at a protest, and then the younger black man came and was telling the young boy, "You can't do this. You can't crash out. That way don't work." And remember, the young dude was like, "I'm just so angry. The older dude was like, I'm angry. I'm ready to just go crazy. I'm ready to explode." Do you guys remember that one? It was a couple of
Definitely.
years back.
Yep.
A lot of the older men in our community, they were just bitches. They got punked by the white man. So now they old, they comfortable, they paid they social security and everything in, and they have an excuse not to do nothing. So what they want to do is encourage the younger generation to crash out. That's that big U shit. What we talked about with these so-called OGs in these gangs. I was too much of a punk to do it, so I'm gonna get some younger dude to do it now and throw his life away. I'm gonna be 40. I'm not ever gonna be that guy who tells somebody to throw their life away like Ben. Ben talking all this yin yang. While that kid is in jail fighting for his life, Ben gonna be comfortable in Canada with his Asian wife, living the good life, driving them trucks, making all that money, And I feel like Ben, I feel like you taking an approach like, fuck that little nigga. Yeah, I'm glad he crashed out and threw his life away. Ben, you sound like you the hater of black people.
Brother, he's innocent to proven guilty.
He's definitely going to be proven guilty.
He's guilty,
What
bro.
you
Just
gonna
like
do for him, Ben?
Rittenhouse.
You gonna put some
He
money
took
on
a
his books?
gun
And hell
to
no,
a
he ain't gonna
protest
give him
and
no
shot up
lawyer
people.
Ben,
fees.
how
He
much
ain't put
money
no
are you
money on
gonna
his
put
books.
on
He
bro's
just doing
book?
all that yapping from Canada.
And
Like I
that's
said,
what I can't stand. These dudes are like, yeah, go throw your life away, but we ain't gonna do shit for you. You know, like, don't do that. If you're not gonna support that man, help that man get a lawyer, you know, do what you can, then stop encouraging people to crash out. Please stop doing that. Bro could have walked away. If somebody asked you,
Zimmerman could have walked away. Rittenhouse could have walked away.
yeah, and Zimmerman is guilty as hell. So why didn't bro go stab Zimmerman in the chest?
Do you think the Hispanics are scared because he killed somebody black? They on talk shows talking
But
about,
you never
oh,
listen.
y'all
You
done
know
made
what's
the black
crazy?
folks mad.
You know, listen. You know what's funny about when black people compare themselves to other groups? You never hear about this shit happening among other groups. When is the last time you heard about a Mexican going in the middle of the bleachers at a track meet stabbing a white boy in the heart? And it's more Mexicans and blacks in this country than Mexicans and whites
It
in
just
this
don't get
country than black.
reported, Brandon. Mexicans do a lot of
No,
dirt. They whole country is a
when
narco
have you
state.
heard it? You don't even
That's
hear
all they
about it,
do is
man.
kill
What
each other.
difference does it make? What difference does it make if a Hispanic killed a white dude? What if
Because
another Hispanic killed another Hispanic?
what I'm trying to tell you is you only hear about black people doing nonsense like this.
But that's the
Going
media,
to the
Brandon. You
traffic.
know that. They don't
Listen,
report
man.
the Asian
No,
gangs and
bro.
the drugs
What
that
it
they
is
bring over and the guns that
listen,
they bring over
the
and the
white
Mexicans
people swept it. Listen,
gang violence.
when it happened, the white people didn't care. They was like, look, stuff happens. It's unfortunate. Black people had to go to the extra level of ignorance. Not it wasn't good enough for us that a tragedy happened. We had to go pour salt on the wound by telling white folks, yeah, he didn't do nothing wrong. He was defending himself. He was this, that, and the other.
But
We
they do the
love
same
to
thing to us, Brandon.
win.
They
Win.
you let somebody police kill us, some white
So white people antagonize you. So white
somebody
people
take the law in their
antagonize you
hands
over
and do
George
something and
Floyd.
they bag them up.
So white people antagonize you over George Floyd.
Absolutely.
Tell me, okay, how did they do that? Tell me how they did that.
Fuck
Oh,
George
he didn't
Floyd.
die from being choked.
Fuck George
He had
Floyd.
heart problems. He was on drugs. It was
Fuck
every
that
damn thing.
crackhead.
Hey, wait, watch your language. Hey, listen, this is why I know you're lying, Jay. White people went and burned shit down in the name of George
That
Floyd
don't
more than
mean nothing.
black
They was
people
right.
did.
The Mexicans did that in the L.A. They was
White
taking stuff,
people,
but they was taking advantage of the
white
situation.
people, let me talk. White people went and burnt shit down on behalf of George Floyd more than black people did. They fought harder for George Floyd than we did.
And they
So
had
what are you
other
talking
agendas,
about?
Brandon. You know that they had other agendas that they were doing. They wanted.
Whether you say
Not
they
gonna
had
fight for
agendas
no
or not,
Negro that
what
held a
A,
I
a
want
gun
lot,
to
a
a
you to
lot of
pregnant
the,
listen,
a
woman's
lot of those,
stomach.
a lot of those people that you're talking about were pre-positioned to cause that damage in those cities, and you know that,
Antifa, you talking about?
of course.
okay,
You know exactly who I'm talking about, and you know who funded them.
but what I'm
So
telling
let's not play games and play semantics, man.
I'm
No,
not
but
playing
these
any games.
nuances can't take us away from the main point. If it is about our people, quote unquote, why is it we always have to like have a circular argument that resorts back to what white people, Spanish people? In the end, it's a young black brother whose life is gone. And I promise you, it mirrors the many that goes on that just doesn't get notoriety or media coverage. I'm
Hey,
telling you, man.
do you
Well,
guys
well, well.
wait,
The most
Jay,
unfortunate thing about it is that a lot of you guys are already predispositioned to be against your people, whether you know it or not.
I want you to learn. I want to educate you on something, Jay. Do you know what a Pyrrhic victory
Yeah, he
is?
said something real that I had to.
You,
Guys, keep the mics when you're not talking. Jay, do you know what a Pyrrhic victory is?
you say this? It's called what?
It's called a Pyrrhic victory.
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Okay, a Pyrrhic victory comes from an ancient general. The guy would win battles, right? His name was Pyrrhus. He was a king of a country called Epirus, right? He defeated the Romans in 279 BCE, right? He beat them in war. Pyrrhus fought almost to the point where his army was almost decimated. He got the victory, but a few years later, when the Romans came back, he had lost so many troops, he could not raise an army to fight them again, and he ended up losing his kingdom to the Romans. That's where the term Pyrrhic victory comes from. It's where you may win a battle by throwing everything you got, but you will lose the war because you've depleted your army during one battle when you probably should have retreated, and saved and took the L so you could fight another day.
And
That's
It's
and
what
and,
like
black.
going out
Wait,
and punching
and how does
yourself
that
out in the
how does
hold
that
first
on, guys.
round.
apply? How does that apply to
I'm
this
getting
current
there. I'm
situation that
getting
we're
there.
talking
I'm
about?
getting there. I'm getting there.
Okay.
Black people cannot afford in America to adopt this mindset like, well, everybody else does it. For one reason, we don't have the numbers that everybody else have. If we lose 100 black men, that is a devastating blow to our community. Whites quadruple us. Mexicans triple our numbers. They have way more people in jail than we do, and they still outnumber us on the streets. Whites, they not even close. Then on top of that, our women are aborting babies like it's going out of style. We are dwindling. And I'm gonna wrap it up right here. We live in a country that is a democracy, right? It's a republic, but we're ruled by representative democracy. Democracy basically means one thing: majority rule. That means if you got the more people, if your population is bigger, you will gain control of this place or different areas of the country. Black people already losing Texas. We lost Texas to Mexicans already and whites. We already lost California. We used to be a big number in California. We have no say here. There are very few states in America where black people even have a say anymore when it comes to voting. How
Well,
do we advance when we continue to call our own numbers by operating in pure ignorance? Go ahead.
don't you think that's what needs to be emphasized as opposed to trying to find random ways to demonize this young man uh, because of some pictures that he may have taken on Instagram
What I'm
or
telling you is none of us demonize, bro. What we're doing is telling black people, stop supporting nonsense because when you do that, you're encouraging other young black men to operate in that way. And
so how is the nonsense being supported? But
because,
because he
bro,
got a GoFundMe?
200,000, yeah, hell yeah. Hell
It's
yeah.
No,
being
You
it's
And
being
don't know
it's
who
being
put
that
that
supported.
that
GoFundMe
doesn't
up,
make any
Brandon.
Can,
sense.
can
That
I say
doesn't make
something?
why doesn't that make any sense? Why
It
don't
could have
they
been a
take that
white
money
person
and
put
put it?
that GoFundMe up for a
Why
scam.
don't they listen?
because
Why don't
obviously that money is first and foremost supposed to be used for legal funds to make sure that he has appropriate legal representation.
bro?
That would be my guess.
Do you understand that you could send about 6 black kids to college with $200,000? So the same black folks who won't raise money to send kids to college will give money to a thug who killed some kid
Well, guess
premeditated.
what?
But
Guess
he has
what?
due
No,
process, Brandon.
Let me say this right here. Well, guess what? Christ left the whole flock just for one. So what makes him
Wow.
that less of an individual to just cast away on the wayside and leave him behind?
listen,
Because he threw his
Christ
life
left.
away. He's done. Stick a
Hold
fork
on,
in
hold
him.
on. Christ left the flock.
He threw himself
Christ,
to the good.
Christ left the flock for a sheep. This man is a demon.
What makes him
Christ
a
ain't
demon?
gonna leave the
What makes him a demon?
fact that he committed a
He
premeditated murder.
killed
It
somebody,
was
bro.
He's innocent till proven guilty,
he's
remember?
That's
innocent
not
until
simple,
proven guilty. He's innocent. That's how it works
bro.
in
No,
this country.
you
He killed
Regardless
somebody,
don't.
bro.
regardless
Do you
of
He
how
guys
you
said
feel
he
realize?
about
did
it,
it, bro.
Wait a minute. Do you
Wow.
guys
He
realize
said
that
he
this
did
boy
it.
has already admitted to killing the boy? Y'all do
No, no,
realize.
no. I'm not saying that he didn't admit to killing the individual, but you're putting that tag on there. It's like a talking point that you're trying to drive home that it was
He put the
premeditated.
tag
No,
on
you
it.
Yeah,
That's yet to be proven.
yeah,
That's
listen.
they
yet to
want
be
them lynched
proven.
already.
You're
They
bringing
want them lynched.
guys. Hold on. You bringing up Christ, bringing the flock. The Bible say murderers will not inherit God's kingdom. He's a murderer. He
He
admitted to
hasn't been
murder,
convicted, Brandon.
bro.
Let the
He's
man have his
confessed
day in court.
already, bro. He's confessed already.
But
Okay,
let
well
his
let,
tongue
let,
be
let, let me
fenced,
let me
Brandon.
let me address something that you said earlier because you mentioned that what would be the reason that he would have a knife on him? Well, in proper context, in Frisco, Texas, not too far from Dallas,
Mhm.
it's not foreign for young individuals to have Swiss Army knives on their keys or on their backpacks, and it's not looked at as a direct weapon.
Bro
It's
stuck
just
his hand
But
in
when
his
you're asked to
backpack.
leave, but when you're
And
asked to
it's
leave someplace,
Texas, brother. They take guns to Chuck E. Cheese. It's
The
Texas.
when
listen,
when when
the
you're asked to
witness.
leave someplace and you have your hands in inside your bag and you look at
Because the
people and
guy
say,
ran up on
"Touch
them.
me," and you say, "Touch me, see what happens," and you have a
Yeah,
weapon, and
put
you
your
know,
hands on me, see what
excuse me,
happens. Fuck
and you
around
know
and
the other
find
person
out.
is unarmed.
He fucked around and found out.
That is something that he's going to go to prison, and here's the deal. And here's the deal. I have a hard time with this conversation because it's a nonsensical conversation at this point because
Facts.
you guys are making ridiculous statements over and over and over again. If we're excusing murder essentially because it was a white boy and they do it to us. This is dumb. This is really, really dumb.
Yeah.
This conversation descended into something really, really stupid. And
Tit for tat
it's
sheet.
hard to listen
The
to.
listen, that's why I had to get Ben out of here. The way that I look at it is, would I want this kid at school with my nephews? No. This guy is a ticking time bomb. He's unpredictable, and everything in me tells me he premeditated that. I'm about to go over here, agitate the other rivals when they're gonna tell me to move, right? That's what they
Yep.
tell you at sport events when you do that. Hey
And
man,
Little League too, Brandon.
anytime they say, hey, you need to go to your side if you're gonna be
Yep.
over here talking crazy. He knows it's predictable what's gonna happen. So when they did what he knew they were gonna do, he jumped up, touched me, and see what happened. Old boy started to push him out of the section. Bro turned around, stabbed him in the chest. Now it's not like we're dealing with a little ass dude versus a big dude. They're both football players. They're both like star athletes. Bro, you big too. You don't gotta stab nobody. And when you say he felt in fear for his life, if he was in such danger, why did the white folks jump on him and beat him up since he stabbed old buddy and killed him? The way those people, you remember when they shot Donald Trump? Y'all remember that? And the crowd had thought it was somebody in the crowd who had shot him, and they was like trying to point out who did it. You didn't even see that. It was literally just like, hey man, he stabbed this kid, call the cops. Bro talk about, oh, I did it in self-defense. Is he okay? Yeah, bro, because that's when you came to your damn senses. I don't, and with these kids nowadays, these kids be popping pills, doing all types of drugs and stuff. I don't know what bro could have possibly.
okay. Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
So you mentioned earlier that the young man that committed the murder had a decision that he could have made to just leave, right?
Yes,
So did the young man Austin have a decision on whether to put hands on that young black man or
he
not?
did. He did. And he
So
100% should have put his hands on him.
he should have. So that's um a reason to put hands on an individual just because you don't want them in your space.
This is the same argument.
That's a yes or no question, man.
Oh
You
no,
don't really
no,
have to go
no, no,
into
no, no.
a semantics about it.
The answer is no. The answer is no.
Okay.
You
The thing is, bro, we're both men. I'm 39. I have children and all that stuff, and we're both men. But you're choosing to take the approach of like a woman. But
Who?
You, because you're arguing things that have nothing to
Listen,
do
man,
with it.
your subtle
That's fine. I'm not
disrespect
subtly saying nothing.
disrespect
I'm not subtly,
doesn't offend me,
Emil,
man,
I'm not subtly
because I'm an
disrespecting.
actual man.
I'm not
See,
subtly disrespect you. I'm telling you what
you
I
you just
observed.
you just
Brother, if it didn't
compared me
affect you,
to my point to a woman.
why are you
See,
getting defensive?
that was a
If,
literal thing
if
that
it
you
didn't
did, but it
affect
doesn't offend me though.
if it didn't affect you,
bro.
why are you getting offensive? I mean,
I'm not offended.
okay, let me finish my point. When I argue with my wife, she'll argue things that really have nothing to do with anything. He touched him, so that means he had the right to kill him. No, bro, because if Buddy had been following the rules, guess what?
What
There would have
rules?
been no the rules of not bringing weapons to track meets or on school campus. There would have see. It's like when we go. It's like this, bro. When we go to a sporting event, bro, we walk through metal detectors. So everybody walking in there knows, even if I do get into something, I don't have to worry about getting shot or stabbed. Shit might flare up. We might get into it with somebody, but I know that this person doesn't have a gun or a knife up in here to kill me with it, right? Bro broke the rules, then killed somebody. So you could say the white boy had no right to put his hands on him. But then you could also argue brother had no right to bring a knife into the track meet. So they both broke the rules. See, that's what I'm trying to tell you. If you keep on looking at who had a right to do what, you can just keep going back. It will go on forever.
Well, I
I'm just
mean, well,
saying,
that goes to say that there's a lot of
listen,
information that's yet
let me
to
tell you
be
something.
revealed in regards to the
Let me
situation.
let me
So,
say this. Black people are the most hypocritical group of people on earth. If a police goes overboard in handling a perp or a suspect, he didn't have to do that. But when a civilian goes overboard, like this boy did and killed this white boy by stabbing him in the heart with a knife, well, he shouldn't have put his hands on him. Imagine the police said, well, he shouldn't have been resistant, or well, he shouldn't have ran away. We're arbitrary. That's why people don't have respect for us. Because it's like one day this is the rule we want, and then the next day this is the rule we want. Pick a damn struggle and stand on it. Then I could get on board with you. But you can't get on board with black people because black people change what they want and what they think and how they view things every damn second. Nobody can keep up with us.
That was
You
a good
can't.
contrast. Sorry, that was a good
Thank
contrast,
you.
man. And it
Let
takes a
Jay
special
respond.
person.
Give Jay a second to respond.
Oh,
Then you
my
can go.
bad, Jay. Go ahead, Jay.
well, in regards to that, I mean, there have been instances where police have killed unarmed individuals. So, I mean, it's not necessarily to say that just because, I mean, he brought a knife, that there wouldn't have been some type other type of altercation where that it became a deadly situation. So I mean, you can put that at the forefront, but when you talk about police officers and just average individuals, there have been plenty of individuals who have been killed, that weren't armed.
But the chance of someone dying increases exponentially when you bring a weapon into the situation. Like I said, buddy, you can see what the level of force is. And like somebody in the comments said, match the level of force, but you're escalating the level of force. Bro, you ain't no little dude. You're an all-American football player just like him. Y'all probably gonna break even, if anything, right? If you really are a good kid, you would have never been over there. And two, hey, they asked you to leave from their section. Respect it. All right, man, let's get out of here. Bro took it from 0 to 1,000 in an instant. The bro went to push you, like, hey man, you got to get out of here, like almost ushering you out. You turned around and stabbed bro in the heart, bro. There was no need
He
for
he
that.
was
That's
he
why
he
people don't
wasn't
go to jail.
a licensed usher, to be putting his hands
Bro,
on anyone.
It
bro,
don't matter, bro.
it ain't about that, man.
No, it does matter.
It's gravitational waves
No,
to
it
change.
doesn't. A black man going to jail, he finna sit his ass in jail for the rest of his life, bro. That's
Do
what
you
matters.
realize how stupid that
Well,
dude
I mean,
is? Go ahead,
that's
Hundo.
yet to be seen.
Go ahead,
That
gravitate.
more than likely, that's what's gonna happen.
More than likely. It take a special person to stab someone. Can we at least say that? It
Hell
take
yeah.
a special person to stab someone. I don't know if you had the demonic spirit, if it was pre-planned, but this brother was suspended from high school for bringing a knife. A week later, he finds himself with a knife at a track meet in the quote-unquote ops tent. And in competition, we look at each other like the op. Why would you even go to their tent?
Right.
So look, I get it, man. Ain't nobody trying to see a young brother in jail. We don't see enough white folks get away with certain things, but I can't use that argument at this point in time where we are in a climate where all our young men are basically gone, bro. It's not a lot of old brothers going in anymore. It's all these young kids. I'm telling you, I see it in the prison system doing my thing. They're younger and younger serving football numbers. So on one hand, you're trying to cheerlead, that's what white boy get. But on the other hand, a whole entire generation is gone. Can't produce children out here, can't produce what he was probably promised to do. He was an honor roll student, all-American football player. If he does choose the self-defense claim, all I'm saying, Jay, he's gonna have to do a lot to prove that, bro. And the odds are against him.
Well, let me say this in regards to what you just said. Um, I've already, made it clear that nobody's cheering the fact that a young man lost his life.
Not you, but there are people rooting the outcome. White boy dead, black boy still alive. Not you, Jay, but this is our people.
Yo, what's good, everybody?
Go ahead, Premium Network.
All right, man, I haven't been on your panel in a minute, but I just did a quick little YouTube search on the whole situation. I was driving here, you guys talk about it. So pretty much, correct me if I'm wrong. Karmelo went into the opposing team's tent, and then the opposing team's telling him to get up out the spot, and then Karmelo was like, "Touch me if you want," and then automatically somebody got poked up. Am I right or wrong on that? Or
Yeah, that's what happened. Because the part where they said the white boy put his hands on him, there was people who said that he never touched him. Some people said he touched him. Some people said he didn't. So I just assumed, I'm trying to give the brother some grace. Maybe he did touch him, and then I get what he did something stupid, but he got touched. But a lot of people say he didn't touch him. So now, they're gonna find that out in the trial.
So in the times that we live in right now, ain't no cell phone footage of the whole situation happening. Because like everybody got footage of everything.
I think it happened so fast. Listen, I believe it happened so fast, and I believe that it's something that is just I just don't think anybody at a track meet is like, yo, this is gonna turn into a murder. Like, we've all been at track meets, we've all been on the track team. Don't nobody at a track meet go into the other person's tent. I've never even seen that happen.
If I was to bet, and I don't bet, but if I was to bet, I'm pretty sure this is a school district where it's predominantly white folks. And I'm not trying to pull the strings of the woke people. I'm just saying, to my guesstimation, he was in an area where it's mostly white folks. The white folks that outnumbers the black folks, they're going to get more rowdy and tell them, dude, hey, get up out of here. They may or may not, said some racial epithets to the dude. And dude probably pulled out his knife, not giving him an excuse to do what he did. But, I mean, honestly, I don't know. Because
it was a special event. It was multiple different districts there. So it was like an all-out event. You had black teams, white teams, etc. mixed.
Okay.
So we can't pull that card. I just gotta throw that out there.
You can't use the predominantly white bullshit when the dude went into their section looking for trouble. Like, I hate when black people do that. We're so afraid of whitey that we walk. Bro, that's like me saying, man, I'm scared of white people, but walking up in the middle of a Klan rally talking shit. No, that defies logic. Like, boy, he ain't scared. That dude went with a I wish a nigga would mentality. I'm going to go right in the middle of that stuff, and they ain't going to do nothing. Watch. And if they put their hands on me, I'm a smirk one of them.
My question is this, though. Why would he walk into the opposing team's tent, though?
Why do black people do any of the dumb shit that we do?
They some people saying that it started raining and he went under there. That's
Come
why.
on, man. All the
That
teams
was
got
the
their
only
own
tent that they
tent.
have in the whole stadium.
Man, all the teams, bro.
That
Have
I'm
y'all
just
ever
telling
been
you
to
what they said.
But if you've ever been to a track meet, every team has their tent. On top of that, the tent is only for team members. Unless he's on the team, why is he under the tent? That's why they were telling me he needed to move.
Also, my main thing coming up on here, somebody said, which I hate this statement with a passion, where somebody said, if you need to bring a gun to go somewhere, maybe not, maybe you don't need to go to that place. And I hate that term and that idea because anything can happen at anywhere at any time. Just because you don't need a gun to go to the grocery store doesn't mean a crazy man with a gun might walk into that same grocery store that you're in and start letting off shots.
Facts.
You're moving the goalposts. It's if you know that you will need it at this particular location, why even go there? So you kind of move the goalposts there a little
Okay,
bit.
okay, fair enough. Okay, let me ask you this then. Let's say you live hypothetically, right? You live in an apartment complex, and like you see some sketchy dudes, not at your car, but like kind of towards the direction of your car, and you gotta go to work. Like, are you just gonna just like leave your gun in the house?
No, that's a different scenario. First of all, we're men with families, and I don't know about you. I have children, and I want to be alive. So I'm gonna have my thing, and I always have it on me where I feel that I need to. For instance, you talked about proximity to home, brother. That's where I live.
Okay,
So different. I get what you're trying to do, but all I'm saying is we're moving the goalposts. He brought a knife to a track meet. You will never hear any other group of people. Forget the murder, forget the altercation, but the excuse to bring a knife to a track meet. I've never heard of this. And the fact that I'm betting most of you all in here have never seen that, yet we as a people will still find a way to wiggle and pull out, a scenario where there's no accountability. That's
okay,
what it, trickles down to.
okay.
We're making an excuse. The very fact that he brought a knife to school and then in turn brought it to a track meet. There's a pattern here.
Okay, well, listen.
Well, I'm willing to bet.
I'm not condoning him bringing the knife to school. I'm just saying the idea of don't go to a place where you need to bring your gun at. I don't agree with that. Now
Yeah, I don't either.
this is a separate incident. I don't agree with kids bringing nothing to school. You should bring your fist to school. But I mean, a knife, that's crazy to me. That I don't know.
I can agree on
I'm
your
willing to
previous
bet.
take
I'm
that
willing
is,
to bet.
hold on. I can agree with you that it's subjective. So I can agree with you to a certain degree, but at the very least, teens shouldn't be going to school events with weapons. I stand on that. And if they have to, then let's talk about the problem, but we're not going to sit here and take away accountability. I mean, this is ridiculous. What are we doing here?
Listen,
But in the context of the situation and where they're located, I would say that it doesn't necessarily have to relate to moving the goalposts because as I mentioned before, in Frisco, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Grapevine, or in just anywhere in Texas, it's not formed for kids to have Swiss Army knives, on their person.
Bro, you ain't stabbing nobody in their heart with a Swiss Army knife, bro. Stop.
Wait, do you have
Okay,
a son?
that has yet to be proven in regards to what
So
particular
are
kind
we?
of knife
So are
it
we
was,
gonna?
but I'm willing
So
to
do we?
bet. I'm willing to bet that it was more along the lines of a pocket knife or
Bro, you can't stab
Swiss
nobody
Army
in
It
the
knife.
probably
heart
was
with
below. It
Swiss
probably was
Army knife.
below 5 inches, which is legal.
But wait a minute though. My point is this though. Since like since like the early 30s and 50s, you had the white biker guys at high school bringing knives and combs and shape of knives to school.
This
It's been
is
happening
irrelevant.
for
This
centuries.
is irrelevant.
What are we doing
Actually,
right
it's not
now?
irrelevant.
Yes, it is irrelevant because the rule is no knives at a track meet. End of story.
But wait a minute. People brought knives to
No, don't
school
nobody
for
bring no
decades.
fucking knife to school. You just making up nonsense.
Wait. So
All right,
wait.
let's get to the nitty gritty.
Listen,
Premium
People
and
haven't
man, let me
people
talk,
haven't been
man.
bringing in knives
Let
to
me
school.
talk. Ain't nobody bringing no damn knife to school. You lying. They do not
Are you
allow
serious?
weapons at school.
That's not true, Brandon.
All right,
Brandon,
where?
are you from
All right,
Texas?
find a
How much
school.
you want to bet?
If
How
you
can you speak on Texas culture
listen,
and you're
bro,
not from
listen,
Texas?
bro.
How
If
much you
you
want to
tell
bet?
me, if you tell me that they let kids bring knives to school in Texas, you're a fucking liar. They do not
Bro,
let
Bro,
kids.
they got a
Listen, man. Go ahead.
they got a law where the knife can be under 5 inches. If it's above 5 inches, you can't bring that shit.
We
That
Okay,
hear
shit
there
I
you
get
real.
what
go.
you're
Yeah,
There
saying.
you go.
That
There
law
you
is
go.
so
for the wait a minute. That law is for the street. That is not a rule
nah,
in your
that's
damn school.
And every
yeah.
school
You
in
they
America, for the
now
record, as someone that
All right,
works for the
man.
school board,
Niggas
no
woke up on Sunday and
weapon,
started
listen,
started
no
lying.
weapon whatsoever is prohibited on school grounds. I can't believe we're arguing this.
No,
But
this
Jay
is
and
pure
Premium,
stupidity.
hold on,
This is
Jay.
what.
Go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
go ahead, Brent. I just wanted to
This is
ask Jay and
go ahead.
Premium just one question.
Wait.
And
Before you ask him that,
okay,
this
go
is
ahead.
the problem with the black community. Dumb niggas say something, then a nigga with intelligence start falling in line with dumb niggas. There's no school on in America that's letting you bring no knife to school.
None.
Period. I work in
Brandon,
schools.
I'm
Listen,
not
man.
Listen,
arguing
Stop
listen,
that.
talking.
listen, listen.
Stop
I'm not
talking.
arguing
I'm
that,
Somebody
telling
bro.
just
you,
told
I'm telling you what I've seen
listen,
firsthand.
and I'm telling you, you a goddamn liar.
Well, I
And you
Brandon,
mean,
know
that's
you
your
lying.
opinion.
can I
I
ask
mean,
you a
that's
No,
your
question?
opinion.
it's not my opinion. That
Brandon,
It
is
is your
fact.
opinion, and just
Brandon,
because
Why
you said it
Brandon,
doesn't make it
Bruh,
a Bible,
did you
Brandon.
listen to the brother just
look
read
up
to
the
your
school
ignorant
policy.
ass what it said, what they just said about around the whole country?
Brandon, can I ask you a question, please?
No, you can wait. I want the grown ass man who I already said act like a female to act like he doesn't acknowledge that the brother just read that in all schools in America that are federally funded by the government, no weapon of any kind can be brought onto school campus.
They probably sneak
Well,
it, but they're not allowed to
Did
bring it.
you
But
hear
Jay
him
and
read it
Premium,
to you? Wait a
Jay
minute,
and
Brandon,
we're not talking
Premium,
about
I
sneaking.
just wanted to go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We not talking about sneaking. We're gonna be men today. If we nothing else, did you
are we
hear the
really?
brother just read that to you? So
Brandon, you
anybody
think these
watching
kids
this,
today are
we're
following school
killing.
rules?
Listen, we're killing the nonsense, the lie that these so-called black men want to keep walking on. There are no knives allowed on any school campus in America.
Why did he
No
bring it
weapons.
then?
It don't matter if it's a pen knife, none of that. I know because I work in schools. Every brother up here knows that.
Okay,
But
we know that. Okay, listen, Brandon, we know that.
My
You from Long
problem
Beach,
is,
right?
how did he get it? How
Brandon,
did
are
he
you from
get it
Long
into
Beach?
the school
snuck it
campus?
in. He snuck it in.
Brandon, are you from Long Beach?
Yes.
Now, in your high school days, knowing everybody knows the rule is no weapons on school campus. How many times you
You're
found your
literally
friends?
trying to move the goalposts because what you
Nigga,
guys
you are,
no, no,
bro.
no.
Okay,
Listen,
brother.
what was
We
being
all
argued,
know. Listen, Brandon. We all
listen,
know
what was being
it's against the
argued,
rules to bring
what
knives.
was
You
being
know this.
argued. Listen, bro, we want to have respect for the panel. If you guys continue to make up lies and then try to move the goalposts, it makes people look at the whole panel like these niggas are dumb. Listen, man, you guys were arguing that there are schools that will allow you to bring certain types of knives onto
That's not my
campus.
argument.
That's exactly what they were saying.
That's
I was
Jay's
saying,
argument. That's not my argument.
Gito said, "Well, I know that under 5 inches they'll let you bring knives." And I was telling Gito, that's for outside of school. So I understand where he's coming from. The rest y'all are straight up lying. It don't matter. This is Swiss Army knife. They damn near won't even let you bring the little sawzall thing. You know the little pin thing that what is that? The cutter?
A box cutter?
No, it's the thing that you use to like cut paper. What is that called? Damn, I forgot the name of it. But it's like it's actually a part of like school stuff, like your stationery. You can cut like
Well, let me clarify this.
no, it's
My
not a box
argument,
cutter.
my argument is not that it is not aligned with Jay's argument. My argument is this: we all know the rules of school, no weapons on school grounds. Yet, since the early 1900s, people have been bringing in weapons to school, no matter if it's a white school, black school, Asian school. Where, like in the inner city schools, where there's like gangs, they bring in weapons. Like, what are we talking about? Well, we all know it's against the rules, but it's still
No.
being brought to
That's not
school.
what. Listen, man. We all know that that's not what y'all was. That
Because the usage of a knife is interchangeable. It's not directly a weapon offhand. I mean, it has multiple uses. A gun, on the other hand, is
Yeah,
defined completely as a weapon.
yeah, but
I mean,
A knife is a lethal
you go
weapon.
to culinary class, and guess what? They have knives in there.
but Jay, let's look at Jay. Let's
You
be
said,
real. Like you're not gonna use a pocket knife to cut a birthday cake. Like, bro, let's be real. Like when you bring a type of knife, like we all know what
I'm
kind of
not.
knife.
I'm not saying relating this to what type of knife it is. I'm just saying a knife. Period.
Right, I
It's
get you.
the usage of a knife is interchangeable.
but it
So
don't matter what it's for. You cannot. There's a thing. It's called a pin cutter. They used to allow these on school campuses. Then they said teachers could bring them, and then they banned them totally. I'm gonna show y'all what it looked like. If they not letting this thing on campus no more, they not letting nothing on campus. This is called a pen knife. That right there. People use that when they do like arts and crafts. You know, when you're trying to like cut out like sharp points on like artwork and stuff. They used to allow these on campus. They stopped, they cut that off. You can't even bring that on campus no more. So if they're not letting you use a penknife that is a part of stationery, they're not letting you bring no Swiss Army knife. They're not letting you bring nothing. They damn near won't even let you bring. Dude, I remember when I was younger, a kid got sent to continuation school for bringing a pen that you pull apart, and it's like a little like 1 inch or 2 inch knife blade in it. Then they kicked that dude out of the district. He had to go to continuation school. And that's when I was little, younger, in
Okay,
middle school.
okay. Now, Brandon, now listen. Now, this track meet, this happened after school hours. This is like an after school type of event. So my question is to you is, what is their security like? Like, do they have like metal detectors at the main event? Like, was they patting everybody down, waving wands at the people coming in and out the stadium? Because, like, again, like my point again, we all know bringing weapons on school grounds is a no go, but yet he still brought it on campus.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, well, you know they didn't have no metal detectors because usually people don't do violence at track meets. I could see a football game at track meet. This dude just was a demon. Bro woke up with his mindset on, I'm about to kill somebody today.
First time I've ever heard of a death at a track meet. I could be
Me
wrong, but
too.
for me, nigga,
Other than somebody passing out.
there you
Bro,
go.
Yeah.
bro, it's the first time I ever heard of somebody trying to go under the other team's tent and start talking
Facts.
shit. I ain't never even heard of that.
Brandon, my sons can't even do that in little league football. You're
You
not even
can't.
a like, and then a tent full of whites. I'm not racist, but I might be uncomfortable. I'm just
Bro
saying.
wasn't scared at
He
all.
wasn't scared.
Bro was on a mission. Let me get this super chat. Martian Coon with our one and only super chat. It's culture as always, Brandon. And that's what I keep trying to tell people. This is a cultural issue that needs to be addressed. And one of the things that makes it impossible to address this in the black community is the mental gymnastics black men and women. We men, we supposed to leave the community. How are we gonna leave the community when we start entertaining stupidity with stuff like, oh, they'll let you bring a small knife? No, they won't. They won't. And we are. And the scary
Actually,
part.
they will.
No, that see, here we go. And
I
you know
don't
what? This
know,
is
dog.
stuff we already knew.
I'll
We
say this.
already
Wait a
knew.
minute, guys. Listen, I'll say this. There was a kid who got expelled for like making a gun, making a Pop Tart shaped gun. Like he chewed the Pop Tart to make it look like a gun, and he got expelled. So nah, I don't think that would ever happen at all. Because like schools nowadays, you can't draw a gun, you can't draw a knife, you can't make a thing that looks like a weapon out of some sort of artifact. You can't even pretend to like to thrust an imaginary weapon or a knife at somebody
And
without the.
and again, it depends on where you're located
No, it
because
doesn't.
No,
I
that's
just
all school.
I just asked AI. It says in America, knives are not allowed on school campuses. Folks,
well
There
I
you
just
go.
read
let me finish.
off of
Well, this is off of 15,900,000 results. Knives are not allowed on school campuses. Folding knives may be legal to own and carry in some
Texas
states,
Texas
but
law
they are
restricts
not.
positions of a knife with a blade of over 5 1/2 inches in certain locations.
Not in schools though. That's what
No,
I
it is in school.
where
In
is
It
it?
certain
say
Where?
it
locations,
say in
including
school
on
too.
school property.
Give us a source. A
That's what I
source.
was saying.
Give us a
T
source.
T yeah, sure. TASB.org.
TASB.org. Oh my god. Okay.
Send the link in the chat to make it easier.
All right.
But
That law a trip, dog. That law
but
is
it's not
confusing, man.
And,
prohibited for
and that's why
students.
I'm saying it depends on where you are, because if you're talking about California, where I mean the gang situation was insane. I mean, of course the laws are going to be stricter.
Well, let's make it clear. Maybe teachers or other adults might have a leeway, but there's no doubt. I'm telling you, it's factual. No student is permitted to have anything even closely remote to a weapon. And you can thank Columbine for that. But Jay and Premium, I wanted to ask y'all, do y'all have any sons?
No, I got no kids, man. I like
All
my
right,
mom.
I hope you get to feel that blessing, brother.
Okay,
Seriously.
so let me read this. So here we go. Here we go. Texas House Bill 1935 allows individuals to carry knives with a blade of less than 5.5 inches or less on campuses of higher education institutions in Texas. That's not high
Well, there you
school.
go.
That's not
So
middle
okay,
Not
school.
so
high
when was
school.
that law ratified right there? What's the date on that law?
I don't know. Let me see.
Because it could have been ratified.
But what I'm telling you is you understand a college campus because that's a bunch of adults.
As I
But when
said
you talk
before,
like,
that law could have been ratified since it was initially established.
I
So
don't
try again.
I don't see the date of that. The date.
Okay, well that's what you need to be looking for,
No,
because
no. The reason why I don't need to look for it is because whenever it was ratified before this dude walked on campus with a knife and stabbed somebody in the chest. So the date is really irrelevant.
But I know none of us would want our sons bringing a knife to
No, can't
school
nobody bring
or a
no
school
damn knife
event.
to school, man. That's been since
Yeah,
Hell
man.
no.
Nah,
listen.
Yeah.
nah,
Hell
nah.
no.
Listen,
Let me read this. Wait. Let me say this. Let me say this. Gun-free events and zones. A committee led by the Office of General Counsel and TSU Public Safety, and also comprised of Texas Southern University faculty, staff, and students, gather public input and develop which areas of campus will be designated as gun-free zones. There's no at official athletic events. You can't bring no weapons in there. So just the first thing is official athletic events. So even if they did allow knives on campus, they are still prohibited at athletic events.
Look, there you
okay.
have it. No weapons.
I know this because Texas is a place where people do carry guns and weapons, so you know they're gonna go. Uh, yeah. See, the same thing pops up only on college campuses. The land, what you can carry. Then they got some lawyers who are talking about it for students. Okay, yeah. So in Central Texas College is talking about possession of firearms and illegal knives, but that's a college. Yeah. See, this is such a what I'm looking at this and understanding is this is something that is so common knowledge. All they have to talk about is colleges because everyone knows that on the lower level schools, you know you can't bring that shit in. So nobody would even ask that question. But now in a college, you a grown ass man. Why you can't bring your little 5 foot 5 inch pocket knife? I get why that would be a conversation. Shout out to my boy Med J for the $10 holler, guys. Also, since I got my monetization back, I have opened up a membership. I worked very hard to create some very cool badges for my members. So I want to see some of those badges in my comments, man. Join the membership. The lowest one is $5.99. They do have perks. You get access to me. If you go to the highest tier, you basically got 24 access. You basically got 24-hour access to your boy. You can ask my guy Gito. He's one of the people who talks to me all the time. My boy JP from the LB. He talks to me all the time. I mean, I'm a good friend to have. If you might need to ask a question or you need some advice, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I definitely can offer my input on things that might be helpful. So shout out to my boy Medjay, and y'all go ahead and hit that membership button, man. Y'all been riding this long, might as well commit to the cause. Okay, let's start doing closing statements. We'll start, Jay. We're gonna let you go last. We're gonna let you get the final word. We'll start with my boy Premium Network. We'll go to Gravitating Away, Gito, and then Jay. Go ahead, Premium.
Oh, I was gonna ask a question to the panel, the dude asked me if I had a son. I don't got no sons, I don't got no kids, and nothing like that. But like, my ending question to you guys would be like, in today's climate, I mean, when you guys pick out schools for your kids, whether it be your daughter or your son, like how would you go about vetting the school? Like do you vet it on if it's racist? Do you vet it on
The more white people, the better.
well, do you vet it on like safety? Do you vet it on the location?
If it got mostly whites and Asians, it's gonna be safe.
Now what if like the school is like pro LGBT and pro the agenda?
All schools are gonna be pro LGBT.
Well, I mean,
Was Columbine predominantly white?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Columbine's still safer than Crenshaw High right now.
Hmm.
I don't know about all that because like they got grown.
Bro, y'all not from California. I'm telling you.
Brandon,
you want to go see people? You gonna go see your son to go get put on 60 crip in the bathroom, or possibly get shot because somebody think he from 60s walking home by some A-Tray gangsters? Bro, Columbine was a one-off event. I'm talking about these black schools. These are war zones every single day. Like y'all like, oh yeah, 5 kids got killed today. Go to these black schools, bro. Kids getting killed on every year. They losing 2, 3, 4, 5 kids who go to the school. My homegirl works at Jordan High School in Watts. Every day she's like, bro, I gotta quit this school, man. Today somebody got stabbed in the bathroom. Today somebody got jumped. They talking about they about to go have a fight after school at this place. Bro, no. You go to Columbine, yeah, 2 boys shot up the school 30 years ago. Y'all still talking about it. Have it been shot up since? Columbine is safer than these black schools. I promise you.
Well, it's kind of like the 9/11 thing. Like after 9/11, now, nope, it takes you 2 hours to get on a damn flight. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, now, granted, that didn't really take effect until like the inner city schools. You still got grown men waiting outside of elementary and middle schools to put on people or to see who's banging the opposite sex. So I mean, unfortunately, that's messed up. But like I said, my closing question is like, you know, like how do you vet these schools, man?
Let me show you what's funny. So my daughter went to a predominantly white school, right? So some stuff happened with the volleyball team and all that. She wanted to leave the school. So I sent her to my old school, which is a predominantly POC school. People of color, blacks, Mexicans, Asians, whatever, right? I'm gonna show y'all what just happened at our school like 2 weeks ago. And it made the news. That's how big it was.
Is she still there today?
She's transferred. But look, I'm gonna show y'all what happened.
Knew it for the Long Beach Unified School District is apologizing after a racist photo involving a group of students went viral on social media.
NBC4's Tracy Leong is live in Long Beach with the action the school is now taking. Tracy.
Annabelle and Colleen, Cabrillo High School in the Long Beach Unified School District said they are deeply disappointed by this disturbing and offensive photo. Students said it was taken on campus during a senior class event in their school gym. You can see a group of students lined up spelling out a racist word on their T-shirts. Community leaders we spoke to say it has sparked outrage among the parents who've seen it, and they're demanding accountability from the school and the district to discipline those involved.
So they blurred it, but a bunch of Mexicans and Asian kids, girls, lined up with their shirts, and the shirt said "I love niggers" on the shirts when the letters got lined up, right? Cold part about it is 4 of the girls got black boyfriends, right? So they were kids being stupid. But you think this gonna happen at the white school? This is why I keep telling black folks, y'all misrepresent what racism is in America. That's never going to happen at the predominantly white school because they're so sensitive about it. They always watching for it. But what do you do when they talk about N words and they Mexican and they Asians and all this stuff? And one of them is mixed black and Mexican. See what I'm
Okay,
saying?
can I, Brandon? Wait a minute. I gotta play devil's advocate now. Wait a minute. Now, these white schools are putting black kids and black boys in dresses.
Which ones?
The white schools.
Which one? You saying white schools? That's very broad.
I don't listen. I don't know the exact name of these schools, but there have been showings of like predominantly white schools.
Okay, so what do you care about?
Putting their son, putting parents' sons in dresses.
So what do you care about? Racism or the dress? Because if you say don't put my son in no dress, they're not gonna do it. And I know that was like a preschool, bro. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, but how many years have black folks told white folks don't call us the N word, and you got this saying,
I mean, what do you?
But black folks say the N word, bro.
I get that. I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that. My thing is, okay, listen. My thing is this. This is.
What do you gain? Listen, what do you gain from this? I'm gonna let you show me something. Then I'm gonna be like, what about this one-off incident that I can't even tell you the details of? It's like you don't get nowhere with that. That's not.
Well, I mean, it doesn't make it non-relative because he doesn't know the name of the school again.
But when you talk to the school, you ask the school, like, okay, listen, when you take your kids to the school, they're gonna do orientation. At the orientation, it's the parent responsibility to ask what's going on. I'm gonna tell you straight up, a white school is probably gonna be less likely to do that than a minority school. Because what I've experienced, the minorities is always trying to do their best to try to prove that they down with some bullshit. The white school is more like we got some like traditional parents here. We got some conservative white folks. White folks vote for Trump. So white folks know, like, don't mess with them with that. When my daughter was going to middle school, the teacher who came up, the teacher who my daughter was like the class, whatever, at her middle school when they graduated. So she was the one who got to give the commencement speech. And my daughter wrote like a paragraph about me, how my dad was so important in my life, da da da. A black woman is the one who removed my daughter's paragraph about her dad from her speech. My daughter was like, Dad, I was looking because she paused during her speech, and I was like, why'd you pause? She was like, I was looking, I wrote about you, but it was taken out the speech, right? Because the teacher has to remove things and whatever.
Okay,
a black woman with a jerry curl read that speech. This woman also happened to be the teacher of the damn they say it's not what is it called? The history class. What is it called, bro? Where they talk about you were slaves and the white man's evil and shit.
Social studies?
No, the one that they
critical race theory or some shit.
The one that they lied and said critical race theory isn't even being taught in schools. They were liars. They put it under culture, ethnic studies. They changed the name of it so parents wouldn't hear critical race theory and be tripping. The black lady who was the head of that class removed my daughter's part of her speech where she talked about me and how much she looked up to me and admired me and stuff. And my daughter was pretty pissed off about that. So I'm telling you, when you put your kid in school, the bullshit ain't gonna come from where you think it's gonna come from. That's what I'm gonna tell you as a parent. You think it's gonna be white folks. It's gonna be these niggas you gotta worry about. I promise you. Because they got a point to prove. They gotta prove that they're down with the most radical shit so that they feel like, man, I'm telling you, you're gonna be shocked when your kid go to school. Watch the teacher your kids love versus the teacher your kids like, I can't stand that bitch. Watch it be somebody black.
Yep.
Even black teachers don't last long in these schools, man. We have a problem trying to hire them for the nonprofit we deal with, and they just can't handle our kids, man. It's crazy.
Nope. A lot of black liberals have a disdain. They actually have the disdain for black people that they claim black conservatives have. It really be them who can't stand their own people.
Facts.
I learned that just living in California. I wish Ryan was up. Man, bro, this black girl worked at this coffee shop. man, she's always talking some nonsense about LGBTQ and racism and all this stuff. Man, I was at the coffee shop one day. I walk at the coffee shop. She on the side of the building making out with her white boyfriend. I said, "Damn, I see why you so turned up about racism. You laid up with the enemy, huh?"
She wanted to.
I'm telling you, it's in California. I feel like it's the worst. They will be all turned up about black this, black that, and black this. You know, get mad at you if you be like, "Why are you trying to make stuff about race?" Laid up with a white dude. Laid up with a
Brandon. So Brandon, let me ask you this then. So Brandon, so if I don't know if you've been to like white schools in Texas, but like the white schools in California, right? Do you feel like they're the most like covert racist type schools? Again, I'm
no,
pretty no. So
no.
like them pushing the LGBTQ towards like
Bro,
black.
you're like you're saying racism, then you say LGBTQ. Pick one.
I'm not.
Which one you
Well, it's facts though. Like, dude, California is the breeding ground for that type of propaganda.
I
Is
think I think if you went to school in California, you would be surprised because when you go on campus in California, you're gonna hear the N word said by people who ain't black more than anything. Then you're gonna hear the fag and all that stuff said by like they don't. These kids don't care about that stuff. The stuff you worried about, kids ain't. They don't care. They're not down with that stuff.
like
These
honestly,
white kids be trying to get down with black kids, man. They trying to
Yeah,
like I stay in South Florida and I travel all throughout Florida. As redneck as this state can be, man, these kids trying to get down with black kids, whether they racist or not. They're more embracing than if your child goes to a black school and gotta worry about where they fit in, what they represent, and what shoes they're wearing. All menial stuff that has nothing to do with academics. Let's just keep it as a buck for a
that's
second,
what it
man.
is. Kids are not on the type of time adults are, and a lot of time adults are worried about stuff that don't even matter. Like, first of all, I'm gonna tell you, it don't matter where you send your kid to school. You as the parents, what you teach at home, that's what your kid is
Yo.
going to take with them. You know what I'm saying? I could, my daughter come home and answer to me. I make the rules at my house, so anything could go. I remember my daughter told me like that. There's some black kids at my school, but I don't want to hang out with them because they always get in trouble. I'm not trying to be getting in trouble and stuff like that. I say you don't have to. You're not obligated to hang out with them. Hang out with the people who are doing what you're doing, and that's what she did, and that's why she was the damn head of her class. That's why right now she's on track to be valedictorian
You
because
did a good job.
I mean, shit, I couldn't put her in the bubble of you got to be down with the Negroes type shit and the black. And guess what's crazy? When she went to high school, her like three little best friends turned out to be black girls. But guess what? They own the right type of time. Not no damn
Mm-hmm.
hood rat got my baby ditching class, sneaking out the window and shit. So
We
yeah,
didn't let
your biggest
racism affect us. Most of us 30 and up remember how it was back then. Sometimes we laugh when we saw some racist shit like, what the fuck he talking about? I remember some white boys in a pickup truck with a Confederate flag called me and my brothers nigger. Hard ER. We laugh. I'm like, this like a movie because they knew not to cross that line. So racism doesn't really affect us so much as the other internal problems we have, bro. That I
bro,
just be wanting us to stay focused
when
on
you
the mission at hand.
when you
I
walk
would
on
say
the
this.
campus and hear all the Asians talk about, oh, nigga, cut, nigga, this nigga stupid, that nigga, that, you're going to be like, it takes so much steam off of that word because black people just looking for dumb reasons to try to keep on
Yep.
resurrecting dead skeletons, bro. Like,
Yep.
no,
Yeah.
bro. Like,
Uh,
our kids, we live in a post-racial society. And if you say in our age we're not post-racial, at that lower level, they're definitely post-racial. Because, bro, it'll be a group of little Mexican boys, and a leader of the crew will be a black dude, and they'll be telling the black dude, "Oh, this one black dude said something about you," and now that black dude going to beat up the other black dude, or the Mexican going to beat up another Mexican because he messed with her. They don't. No one cares. These kids don't give a damn about none of that.
I would say I would say this like from like kindergarten up to seventh grade, I went to nothing but white schools. Right now, they still have black folks in the schools, but like it was predominantly white. But when I got to eighth grade in Tacoma, Washington, I went to my first old black school. Nothing but Crips and GDs. Like, bro, like something changed in me, like where I was more towards like the black, like because that school was like black and Mexican, and I found myself getting like introduced into like the gang lifestyle, and I became a GD for like a little short period of time. That I snapped out of it, but like I know. Like I know the difference between going to an all white school and an all black school, and like I finished out in high school in a melting pot of like whites, blacks, Samoans, Tongans, Polynesians, and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
And here's the problem. What if you had got done like this one kid, Gerard, up by where my granny lived in North Long Beach? Hey, Ezra, what was that kid name who joined two ends and on the first day he was from the gang, he got killed right by grandma's house? You don't remember when the kid got shot in front of grandma's house on the corner? Okay. Well, this kid, he was from North Long Beach. He got put on this gang called Two Ends, Naughty Nasty. The same day he got put on, you know, kids, when shit happened, they be on the phone. Hey, you know, Whoop Whoop got put on. Some dudes from this gang called Sex Money Murder saw that dude walking down the street and killed his ass. He wasn't even from the gang for 5 hours. And
you got Sex Money Murder out there in Long Beach?
What?
You got Sex Money Murder out there in Long Beach?
Yeah, Sex Money Murder.
Damn, we had it down here too.
Yeah.
I thought that was in New Jersey or something.
But out here, Sex Money Murder is like a conglomerate of like different gangs, right? So you got
blood gang.
No, there's no blood gangs in Long Beach. Sex Money Murder in Long Beach is like it's dudes from gangs in Long Beach, dudes from gangs in Compton, dudes from gangs in like Glenwood, LA. It's a Sex Money Murder is more like a clique. It's not an official gang because it got dudes from different gangs. It's made up of dudes in different gangs. But
I thought that gang was like started out in New Jersey, and it was an all blood gang out in New Jersey.
Nah, you know, niggas have the same names. Come on, niggas. That's not connected to that. But what I'll tell you is the dudes from Two Ends, that was a clique. They used to be like doing skateboarding stuff. But they started getting into it at the park down the street called Ramona Park with some gang members. And so they turned their little crew into a gang. And so now they're a full-fledged gang. But what I'm saying is, imagine if that happened to you when you became a GD for 5 minutes. And then you didn't get to make it past, dang, I snapped out of it. That's why I'm telling you, everything is about the surrounding. If your parents had sent you to a straight white school, you might have been like, Mom, the racism is unbearable. But guess what? You never been walking around talking about I'm a GD. And that's more dangerous.
You know, it's crazy. I was living with my mom around that time too. What's living with my dad's house? All that shit get out the window.
Your dad would have beat your ass. He was like, you ain't shit. You better tell him I'm from my mama pussy if they ask you where you from. We all got in this conversation with Premium's question. Let's let Jay close us out. Thank all y'all for coming in here today. I appreciate y'all. Go ahead, Jay. Close us out, bro.
Well, I mean, I just want to say that you know, it's an unfortunate situation that happened with the young man that was killed, and it's an unfortunate situation for the young man that, you know, perpetrated the crime against him. You know, it's a lot more information that I believe that needs to be revealed, but just all around, it's a sad situation. So hopefully, you know, we can get a better understanding of you know, what our kids, young adults need to do to you know, better their lives and their future. So yeah.
All right. Well, Jay, you're always welcome to come back. Don't get hurt if it gets a little chippy up here.
Oh no, I appreciate you having me, man.
Cool as hell, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys having me.
Shout out to my boy, All Gas No Breaks. This happened in Texas. What did Ratchet Crockett have to say about it? You know that girl don't care about what's going on with Texas. She's busy running around the country trying to fight a war with Donald Trump that she's losing horribly. If you didn't see my new video where I talked about how she
saw it.
Byron Donald with the interracial, that girl is just saying, literally, she's just saying anything trying to get a news camera in her.
She's cosplaying like a hood chick. She ain't no hood chick.
It ain't no. The girl went to a $40,000 a year private school. She looking like a hood chick with them wigs. Them wigs are whoa, Jesus.
She embarrassing.
Listen, man, them wigs giving me secondhand embarrassment, baby. I'm like, girl, you are rich. You got $1 million properties,
Hmm.
and you still buying wigs off of Amazon, my nigga. You know you could get wigs made custom. Like she buying wigs off Amazon. Shout out to my boy Ozzy
43,
Alfredo.
right?
Thank you. Man,
Well, you know what they say, man. You can take them out the hood, but
she ain't never been in the
That
hood.
part.
Well, I mean, I'm just talking about the hood mentality.
She ain't got no hood mentality.
Well,
That girl is
obviously, if she got
whitewashed.
it's a
Bro, that
hood
girl been
hairstyle.
watching. That girl been watching baddies, bro. That girl been watching baddies, bro. That's how she act. She
Mm.
act like she been watching reality TV and is doing her best impersonation of what she.
Yeah, black
Yeah.
females feel offended and they cheer her on.
Yeah, she's getting like, bro. She might not even get reelected in her own district. Watch.
I'm not gonna
Mm.
lie, I had to make a video about Afro, bro. His last video, I guess in YouTube, the way you pick up on the algorithm is if you go extreme left or extreme right. And
Yeah.
some of these YouTubers are, doing that. And Afro Think Tank, he's supposed to be this Pan-Africanist, but he was getting on Byron Donalds and using Tariq's technique. Tariq, the guy he usually speaks against, he
Yeah.
basically was saying, well, Byron ain't from here. He ain't one of us. And I'm like, oh, okay. You get
Mm.
some views and you switch it up. I get it.
Yeah, that nigga
Hey,
retarded, bro.
bros be trying to chase these views, but that's what people want. People want entertainment. So like black men getting up despairing each other in the name of protecting black women, quote unquote. That's entertaining. I'm never gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? A
Yeah.
goddess of Beast says she has no filter, no chill either. Fact. She's embarrassing everybody. She's literally just affirming like stereotypical black behavior that black people have been trying to separate themselves for decades. Like you up there
Mm.
acting ghetto, like if they wanted a ghetto hood rat to be representative, why didn't you send a real ghetto hood rat up there to run? You know what I'm
And that's
saying?
what the Democrats think of y'all. She doing this shit at the highest level. An embarrassment, man.
Just sad, bro. And do you think you one day gonna get a president? Like she's starting to remind me of Kamala Harris. To me, she's like, well, Kamala Harris did this, but she didn't know how to talk black. So now she's like, let me do like the bad witch version of Kamala Harris. Like,
Mm.
well, Kamala Harris is a bad witch, but she's just ghetto as hell. And my daughter, I played my daughter one video with her. My daughter was like, just turn this off. This is ignorant as hell. It's like you said, like you know how somebody say you just set us back 40 years. That's what Jasmine
Facts.
Crockett is doing.
I be caring about you niggas. That's why sometimes I do get like secondhand embarrassment because I know the ignorant shit I used to do. I can admit to it. It's not cool. You feel me? It's not. You grow
Mm.
up. Hopefully, wisdom settles in. But unfortunately, you got a Jasmine Crockett playing in y'all face.
Jasmine Crockett cook like a motherfucker. Hey, thank all y'all for coming up here. I appreciate everybody who's in the building. Hey guys, did you find some people were saying they couldn't find the join button to join the membership? Yeah, if you drop like $10, $5 every week or month, just join the membership, because I'm going to start releasing things exclusively for members. I want to really tap in with a small core of like super supportive people, so I could like really bless y'all for supporting me all these years. My kinfolk brigade, and you deserve the recognition, you deserve the attention, and you deserve to have something. You deserve the recognition, you deserve something that's dope. But if you guys are looking at the video, um, I want to show y'all how to uh, join because some people said they couldn't. So we're gonna go here. So right there, if you look at this, right under the video, it's gonna have the button right by where my face is. To the right, it's gonna say join, and just hit that join button, and then pick which tier you want. And I want to see some people comment with them dope ass headphones. Cause I got some dope headphone badges made and they look so cool. So I'm really anticipating the time when I can log in and I see dudes with the headphones by their name. And it's like, yo, bro, been a member. I like that. Y'all dropped out that day real quick? Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Well, thank y'all for watching this. I appreciate everything y'all do. Goddess was like simple. right. Thank y'all for watching this. Till the next time, take care of yourselves. But most importantly, join the membership and take care of each other. Peace.